they've been doing some refurbishment to the walkways and so on. So keep that in mind maybe next time you come down to Port Arthur, book in for that tour. It's about a 2.5 acre site. Obviously there's been a little bit of coastal erosion too, its proximity to weather. As you can well imagine, deaths in Port Arthur were as a result of many things. Respiratory illnesses, influenza, pneumonia, scarlet fever. Whooping cough was a big problem for little children. Of course, no vaccinations, antiseptics, antibiotics. And of course, we've got a lot of industrial accidents and acts of violence, amputations. Well, you were just in God's hands once they got that arm or the leg off. The hospital was under-equipped. All the supplies, of course, are coming by ship, and quite often the doctors were poorly trained. One of the poor boys was diagnosed with rheumatism of the ankle, and that the doctor claimed that it went on to cause him to have a heart attack, and he died. Well, in fact, the case notes recorded 2 puncture wounds on his ankle. It's quite possible that he died as a result of a snake bite.
It's so fun.
The women between the ages of 16 and 50, the most common cause of death was during or after childbirth. So from this perspective, you get a very good idea of why this was such a prized location for the English. They'd been scouring the empire for any source of timber. They'd run out of oak trees quite simply, and they needed to rebuild their fleets after the Napoleonic Wars. So they really hit pay dirt when they claimed this area. Yeah, the British, they've never seen such huge trees. I mean, we're talking trees 70 metres tall before the first branch, 6, 7, 8 metres in diameter. Perfection for boat building. Little wonder they took a quarter of what was logged here straight back to Britain for boat building purposes and for other projects such as railway sleepers. A lot of the timber from here was used back in Hobart Town and quite possibly in other Australian colonies. Yeah, all the colonies are growing, so there was a great demand for timber. And you can also see why it was so difficult for convicts when they escaped. I mean, there were major bushfires that came through here in the 1890s. All the forests out there, new growth, young growth. Old growth trees were certainly much larger. Bushfires in the 1890s, 2 of them in quick succession. That's when a lot of the destruction happened, not just to the forest but also to the buildings at Port Arthur. So for convicts, well, they're secondary offenders from perhaps from the mainland. They wouldn't know which way was Hobart Town once they got out there into the bush. They can't light a fire for fear of giving away their location. There's no fresh food, there's no fresh water, and they're wearing leg irons, so quite cumbersome. It's made such a perfect natural prison with all these hindrances to escape. Although escape they did, that was on everyone's minds, especially when there are no walls. Oh, so tempting. We do offer escapes tours here at Port Arthur. That's another good hour or so with a guide. You get to hear some of the stories. Clearly the most successful albeit short-lived, escapes would have involved boats. Convicts were expert at sailing and anything nautical. We'll be coming back into Mason Cove, going past the Commandant's house. So he's the boss, he's the most important man on site. His responsibility is everyone all over the peninsula, around at the coal mines, up at Eagle Hawk Neck, the military, free people, of course convicts as well. So he's got a very big job, a lot of ground to cover. Wander up there and have a look at the museum house. So it will be open until 5, I guess, when the site shuts down. And there's a guide up there if you need a lift. Just signal the buggy, or the wombat as we call it, and you'll get a ride. The other museum house is the Junior Medical Office home on the other hill. There is a museum in the asylum, and of course there is the gallery inside the visitors centre. So we're going to swing around to the dock. I really appreciate you coming with us on the harbour. We've loved having you. Thank you very much. Just enjoy your afternoon, and the captain will give us the all clear, and I'll give you a shout when we are allowed to disembark. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks very much for coming tonight. Thanks.